Okay. Well, thank you very much, Adrienne and ERP VAR, and thank you for everyone for taking time out. I changed it up a little bit from what was advertised. It's not a bait and switch, but what I wanted to do today was walk through, there's probably more than 13 differences, but I want to talk about some of the differences between B2B and B2C e-commerce, and I want to highlight how our software we've developed is adapted really to a B2B environment. You know, certainly this isn't necessarily a pitch on our product. We'd love for everybody to take a look at it, but these are really things that you're going to want to look at when it comes to any e-commerce application or shopping cart that you'd be implementing for a customer or for yourself if, you know, if you're a manufacturer or distributor within your own organization. So hopefully, even if you're not in the market for a shopping cart, these are things that will help you out. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. And I've borrowed some slides from some different presentations. There are a lot of different systems that we integrate with. One of the keys with e-commerce, sorry, I've got this set up to auto advance, but one of the keys is integration to your accounting system. We integrate with QuickBooks, we integrate with Sage, Microsoft, Epicor, a number of different accounting systems. And one of the things that always surprises me is the fact that business-to-business e-commerce is twice the size of the business-to-consumer e-commerce market. If you think about it, it doesn't really make sense on the surface. There's a lot of people selling clothing, jewelry, shoes, music, games, all kinds of stuff online, and you would think that the consumer market would be larger. The problem with that, though, is that in most B2C environments, your shopping carts are maybe $100 on average. If you get into a business-to-business e-commerce environment, a lot of times those shopping carts are full of some very expensive items. You know, they could be tens of thousands of dollars. So while there are definitely more B2C e-commerce sites out there and shopping cart applications, there are more transactions or more dollars being pushed through a B2B e-commerce site. Okay. Wait for my computer here to catch up to me. Benefits of e-commerce. 45% of contact center calls are non-transactional, and we all know this. It's people calling in saying, do you have the product, what's my price, and where's my order? And this is where self-service comes into play with e-commerce. And if we look at it even further, the average order processing costs in a B2B environment, phone orders are going to take us about $33 to process. Go back to that. Email orders take us about $10 to process. But if you look at a B2B e-commerce storefront, it only costs you about $1 to process an order. If you're doing about 100 phone orders or maybe 100 email orders, you're going to have some significant savings by deploying a B2B e-commerce shopping cart to your business customers, or even through your external sales force. A lot of companies sell through brokers, dealers, distributors, manufacturers, reps, etc. And by deploying a B2B e-commerce shopping cart in the storefront where they can log in and get all these things answered, right? Where's my orders at? Do you have the product in stock? What's my price coming from your ERP system? It's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of energy. It's going to save you a lot of money. There's a lot of options out there when it comes to B2C e-commerce. These are all the ones popping up here on the bottom. If you're out in the market looking for B2B e-commerce, you would type that into Google, for example. You're going to see a lot of these companies pop up. Truth of the matter is, very few of them do B2B well, and we're going to talk about what some of those differences are. But they're going to place a greater importance on your search engine optimization, right, trying to find people looking for sweaters or Nike shoes or this, that, or the other. Most of these sites are set up so that you have to pay on a credit card. We're in a business-to-business environment. I'm probably very infrequently taking a credit card for an order. I'm allowing my customers to buy on account based on their pre-established credit terms. I can, in some of these systems, customize a product catalog, but in a B2B environment, when my customer logs in, I want them to see the products that they buy from me. I want to be able to customize their shopping experience. In a lot of these B2C sites, they have no way for a sales rep or a broker or a manufacturer rep to log in and view information for their assigned accounts. That's one of the other differences, one of the things that we do with our application, is if I'm a sales rep, I can go to my customer, I can sit down in front of them, I can log into the system, and I can show them their orders. I can put orders in on their behalf. And it's just one of those kind of nuances that none of these B2C sites have really figured out yet. Back office ERP integration is huge. With most of these sites, they are going to basically become your shopping cart. Orders are going to go in through the day, and then they're either going to do one of two things. They're either going to email you order confirmation so you know the orders that have been placed in your shopping cart, or possibly at the end of the day they'll send you like a CSV or a flat file of all the orders that have come in, and then it's up to you to import those, if that's available to you, into your accounting system, right? Import my sales orders, or in some cases manually re-enter them, and that's not real efficient. What we do with our ERP integration is we're tying it in bidirectionally. So on the one side, we're pulling in your items, we're pulling in your inventory, we're pulling in your customers, all of their account information. You set them up with a login. They log into the system. They see their items, their pricing, inventory stocking levels. They put their orders in, and then on the back end, pushing back into your accounting system, we're creating the orders. Okay? And we're going to look at a number of different options that we provide as well. Just a little comparison of some of the differences between B2C and B2B. In a B2C environment, I'm driving product, right? I'm really driving volume of sales. In a B2B environment, I'm really trying to create a relationship with return customers to come back, buy more, make it easier for them. So it's more relationship driven. And also in a B2B environment, the market is very different, and it's very small and targeted. I tend to know who my customers are. Even if I have a guest account login, I know who I'm selling to or who I want to sell with. In a B2C environment, it's very broad, right? If somebody's looking for a T-shirt, I mean, that could be anybody pretty much anywhere. The buying process, B2C, is almost like point of sale, right? I go in, I'm looking for something, price looks right, the reviews are good, I'm going to buy it. In B2B, you're selling more complex products, and there's more of a longer, more involved sales process that goes along with that. In a lot of cases, I might have B2C or B2B customers that can log in, they can look at some information, but they're going to want to contact a sales rep. They're going to want to find out if there's discounts available to them if they buy different configurations of an item or different quantities of an item. From a pricing standpoint, in B2C, you're pretty much looking at standard pricing. It's not customer pricing, right? You might have buy one, get ones or volume discounts or something like that. But in B2B, when I log in, I expect to see my contract pricing established with your company. And that's one of the things that we bring to the table. Shipping, very different. In B2C, I'm typically shipping common carrier, United States Postal Service, FedEx, UPS, you name it. In a B2B environment, I'm going to probably have some elements of common carriers, but I'm also going to have truckload, less than truckload, maybe my own delivery trucks. So there's different methods of shipping that need to be supported. From a user standpoint, in B2C, it's almost exclusively consumers. In B2B, obviously business customers, sales reps, brokers, dealers, manufacturers, reps, you name it. Frequency, B2C, outside of somebody going back to Amazon and buying stuff over and over, or buying different products. In a lot of B2C shopping carts, typically it's a one-time purchase, where in B2B you get a lot more repeat orders. We talked about it earlier, B2C typically low price, B2B typically higher price. Fulfillment's a big one. In a B2C environment, a lot of times these are simply marketing companies. They don't even take stock of their inventory, and the fulfillment is through a third party. Where in a B2B environment, if you're a distributor, you're probably stocking this. You may be drop shipping in some cases, but you're typically fulfilling from your own warehouse. If you're a manufacturer, you're probably doing this as well, right? You're making the product to your demand, putting it in your warehouse, and shipping and fulfilling from there. B2C, again, we talked about earlier, it's a manual import to get your web orders into your ERP system, where in a B2B environment, you really want that to be automated, so you don't have to do that. Some other differences here, credit cards. B2B, I'm going to make my customers pay with a credit card. B2C, I'm going to let them buy on account. We do integrate with credit card processing for those customers that need that. Repeat business customers versus the one-time customers, we talked about that. Integration concerns, deep ERP integration, we talked about that. This is just to highlight that a little bit. You need online inventory and stock status available to your customers. You need automated sales order creation. And I have a couple slides in here just on things that you probably don't want to do, right? You don't want to set up an e-commerce site that looks like this. This is a little rough, and you do get what you pay for. Here's another one. This one's a B2B site, industrial supply store. It looks a little better, but it still doesn't look professional, so you probably don't want to do this either. This is our site, one of the sites that we've done for a customer. And I want to walk through some of the features. It has a built-in content management system, so you can manage every aspect of your site, whether it's the shopping cart or even non-shopping cart pages. And that's what we're showing here is the pages that are available that you can manage. Okay. The other thing that is really nice with our software is you can put settings in to skin out the application. So if I log in, I can have the same exact shopping cart, let me go back here, with a different look and feel. So maybe I have one division that's selling one type of product, one division selling another type of product. I can have settings on my shopping carts, so based on the login of those customers or reps or what have you, the site actually changes on what it looks like. And it's hard to see here, but you can see the setting ID equals coffee. On other screens, I'll point this out. We have a setting ID equals Inmar equals demo equals other stuff. Okay. You can maintain all kinds of different site options. For example, maybe I want to allow guest access to go in and look at my product catalog, but I don't want them to be able to place an order. Go back here again. Or I can allow them to create a one-time user to go in and actually place an order. I can determine how I want to handle freight calculations. What do I want to do if I have an on-hold customer that tries to place an order? What do I want to do from a workflow standpoint with that order? Do I want to set minimum order quantities or based on maybe the dollar volume of the order? And same thing on a max. Maybe I don't want people to be able to buy online over $10,000 or something. Side offer displays, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. We do have the ability to do some cross-sell and upsell and promotions. There's a side offer that is basically a little tab that will appear on the site. You can use it for like more information or maybe to engage them with a live chat, things like that. Okay, so a lot of control over your site itself. This is the maintain featured items, so you can determine which items you want to feature on your home page or in different pages within the site itself. So again, all this available online. From a shopping cart standpoint, you can look at the items in your shopping cart either here at the bottom by clicking on the cart tab, which I'm highlighting here. We also have this little drop down here at the top where if you click show cart, it will show all the items in your cart, and then you can just go directly to the checkout at the top. That's kind of a nice thing here. You can also see here over on the side that says want more, click here. That's the side offer. So you can put all kinds of different promotions, news, contact us, live chat within that section. Categories, you can define categories. If we look over here on the side, you can have subcategories. We also have the ability to do search. And the item search, you can either search for an item. We also look at the item description. Basically, any of the data that we're pulling over from the system, you can search on. And then you can look at the results of these. ERP integration, these are some of the big differences. We do have integration to multiple accounting systems, ERP systems, we'll talk about that. Sales tax integration, we integrate, let me go back again, I hate the fact I had animation on this, but sales tax, we integrate with Avalara, which is the leading sales tax engine on the planet today. So you're ensured to be compliant if sales tax needs to be charged. We talked about shipping rates, being able to integrate that. And also, if you do want to take credit card payments, we do have that available as well. Account self-service, the customer wants to log in, look at statements, invoices, review sales orders. They want to review and track shipments. We can do that online. You want to be able to manage their account and communicate with your company or with the sales rep. Sales reps, this is a big one. So picture, if you will, I'm a sales rep. I'm going out and physically talking to my customers. I can take a tablet. Log into the e-commerce site as myself as a sales rep, and sit down with my customer and have full access to my company's product catalog and order history and invoice history and statements, etc. for my customer, and I can actually put the orders in right from the tablet. Okay, so there's no need to go buy some mobile sales solution. You can do it right from your e-commerce storefront, which, by the way, is integrated to your accounting system. So you know their items, you know their pricing, and you know that when you put an order in, it's going to go back into the ERP system and create an order that then is obviously either purchased, manufactured, and then fulfilled to the customer. Okay. Invoice and sales order inquiry is available online as well. This is a different look and feel for one of our customers. They just wanted kind of a basic look and feel to their site. So let's talk a little bit about integration. The system is available for QuickBooks, various Sage ERP products, Microsoft Dynamics, Epicor, and others. If we don't have an integration, it doesn't take us long. We don't charge for that because we want to get this application out into the market, into a lot of different environments. So if we don't have the integration built out, we will spec that and complete that as part of the purchase agreement. From a pricing, packaging, and deployment standpoint, with a B2C site, you can go out and you can get started with B2C e-commerce relatively cheap. There are some sites that will give you a shopping cart for free. That's not us. We specialize in very deep integration, very special functionality when it comes to the B2B side of e-commerce. So with that said, we're probably not the low-cost provider when it comes to a shopping cart, but the value you're going to get is going to be tremendous. You can buy the software outright if you want to purchase it, or you can also go with a subscription. If you want to install the e-commerce site on your servers, that's an option. If you'd rather go with a hosted version, we partner with Microsoft on their Azure cloud because they know hosting better than we do. And so we do offer hosted options as well. And from a pricing standpoint, there's really two different editions, if you will. For anybody on the call today that maybe works with QuickBooks or Sage 50, being previously Peachtree, you can go with either a subscription or a purchase. Subscriptions are $560 a month per site, and then $12,000 if you want to buy it outright. From a setup, configuration, design, go live, that's a fixed fee of $5,600. And that's turnkey. So our goal is at the end of that process, for that fixed amount, you have an e-commerce shopping cart set up that's integrated to your back-end Sage 50 or QuickBooks system. For ERP, which is basically, your Microsoft Dynamics products, your Epicor, your Sage ERP solutions, those types of mid-market and higher ERP applications. Again, either a subscription or purchase. You're looking at $700 per month per site on a subscription, or $15,000 for a purchase, and then $7,000 for your turnkey site setup, configuration, and design. And I know that for some of you that this might be the first time you're looking at e-commerce, you might be saying, well, that's kind of a lot of money. If you go out and you look at some of the few competitors we have, I can tell you in one space, and I won't mention the competitor, they're charging upwards of $50,000 to $80,000 for B2B e-commerce sites. That's why we designed Anytime Commerce, was to provide a affordable solution really for the masses. Okay. So with that, we got through the presentation pretty quick. We do have a white paper available if you're interested. It's kind of accompanies this presentation, 13 Reasons Why B2B is different than B2C, on anytimecommerce.com. And with that, I'm going to kick it over to Adrian, and we can wrap up with some Q&A.
Thank you, Jim. We do have a question. How long typically does it take to get this solution implemented?
Now, that's a good question. So, of course, everybody, and myself included, are going to say it depends. It depends on the complexity. It depends on the number of items. It depends on if you really want to tweak a lot of the different elements of the site. But I can tell you on average, you're looking at maybe a couple weeks worth of work, 80 hours, I would think. For the more complex sites, it can be maybe double that. But I'd say on average, a good bet would be a plan to spend about 80 hours working on this. Any other questions there, Adrian?
I do have a poll up and running here. If we could get the audience to answer this poll, are you interested in learning more about Anytime Commerce? And Jim, what typically is the process that you go through when you implement the solution?
No, that's a good question as well. So the typical process is, first of all, we want to be able to understand what all the requirements are. So we're going to have a phone call to talk about all the requirements, about, what is the goal of the software. It's much like implementing really any software. And once we document the goals, then we can talk about the strategies, the pieces of the software. What's the look and feel going to be like? What's the audience? Is it sales reps? Is it B2B customers? Only a subset of those. Once we document all of that, then it really comes down to the implementation, which we have a synchronization that we will schedule to pull in, your inventory items, your customers, customer pricing, etc. So we'll walk through all of that, and it's very collaborative, where we're training you really how to do a lot of this stuff. You can then go and do some of the setup, and then we're available if you have questions. We definitely do this in a pilot type of an environment first before we deploy to live. On a graphic side, we can provide some services if you want us to do some of the graphic design work. In a lot of cases, companies want this to match their website so they can borrow images that already exist on their website, or maybe they have a product catalog. So we just a matter of getting those images and maybe editing them to make them work in more of a shopping cart type of environment.
And what is your sync technology to go between the website and the ERP? Is it FTP, ODBC, etc.?
It's going to depend on the accounting application, the integrations that we've written. Some of them are ODBC because that's all that's available to us from that accounting application. Our preference is to do a web service with APIs that we can go directly into the application, but that's not always available to us.
And thank you for that answer. Is there a way that we as a reseller can purchase the application, then we use the software to develop the site for our customer instead of your company doing it? Thank you, Denise, for that question.
Oh, absolutely. We would love to have partners that would be able to resell the application and to offer those services to their customers. That, to be honest with you, would be an ideal world for us. We like to develop software, and the implementation sometimes can get bogged down. And so we'd rather have implementation partners out there give you a margin on the software sale and allow you to build a consulting practice around the implementation and the setup. So if you're interested, definitely contact us and we can talk more about what that would look like.
And I see another question here. Is there annual fees after the installation?
Good question. If you're on a subscription, it is simply the monthly subscription fees, which include your maintenance and support. If you purchase the product outright, it's much like any other software purchase, mid-market business software purchase, where we would charge a annual maintenance support plan. So you would have access to support and future versions of the software. But outside of that, no, nothing. And maybe some hosting costs if you wanted us to host it. We might be charging you monthly or annually on hosting. If you obviously host it on your servers or with your own hosting platform, then we wouldn't be charging you anything on that.
And it looks like we have a couple Sage Summit or Sage software resellers. Are you going to be at Sage Summit, Jim?
We will be at Sage Summit. I don't have our booth number offhand, but we are listed in the directory, and you'll be able to find us. Our booth will actually look very much like the slide deck that we had with kind of the black and the city feel to it. We're probably listed under B2B Technologies, which is the company name.
And we have another question too. What would the annual subscription cost be if you purchased the software outright?
Let me go back to that real quick. You don't have to flip me over. I want to look at what that slide says here. So for Sage 50 and QuickBooks, if you wanted to purchase the software outright, it's a $12,000 purchase. If you wanted to subscribe at that level, it's $560 per month per site. The ERP, which I think most of the folks we have on the call today are more in the Sage Microsoft Epicor product line, that is $700 per month, or $15,000 if they want to buy that outright.
I see a couple more questions, Jim, if I may. Do you guys deal with updates in my ERP? Is that part of the service?
It would depend. If there's an update to your ERP system that would have an impact with your e-commerce shopping cart. For example, if let's just pick a product. Let's say you're using Sage 100 or Epicor as your ERP system, and they make a change to customer pricing or to the database tables that contain the customer account information, for example, or inventory. Yes, if those changes are going to impact the integration, then we would be working on that to make sure that those are resolved. As far as any other updates that would not impact Anytime Commerce, no, we would not be working with you on those changes.
Even if I bought the product outright?
If you buy the product outright, it's much like any other software where there's a client care plan or a maintenance support plan. That's typically 20% of the list price. So if you buy the product outright and you're on an active maintenance and support agreement with us, then we would cover that, correct.
And it looks,
if you're off maintenance, then no.
And it looks like we have an extension of a previous question, clarification. The first question, Jim, if you recall, and thank you, Denise, for this, what would the annual subscription cost be if you purchased it outright? And then Denise clarifies, I meant the annual maintenance cost after the initial $15,000 cost.
Okay, so that's 20%. So if the purchase price is $15,000 at that ERP edition level, then 20% of that, we're looking at what, $3,000 ongoing.
All right. Well, doesn't look like we have any further questions at this point, and we do have 67% of the audience who have voted, so we'll go ahead and hang on a little bit longer if you can think of any other questions. And if you haven't taken this poll, it would be great to learn if you're interested in learning more about anytime commerce. So if you could go ahead and answer that poll, that would be wonderful.
And while we wait, Adrian, I'll kind of plug two of our other products as well. I mean, not only do we have the commerce piece, but we also have Anytime Collect, which is an accounts receivable credit and collections management application available on the cloud, integrated to your accounting system. Really a nice way to put your accounts receivable on autopilot, and at the end of the day, get paid a lot faster. And then the other one is a new product called Anytime Supply Chain, which is basically sales forecasting and MRP or DRP, material requirements planning, on the cloud, integrated to your accounting system to help you determine what do you need to make, what do you need to buy, when, and how much. Perfect.
I'm going to go ahead and close out this poll and then share the results. And it looks like 60% of you are interested in learning more, 40% not at this time. And then I'm going to go ahead and hide this poll. And Jim, if you could pull up your contact information just real quick.
We'll go ahead and do that. Right there you go.
And if anybody has any questions and would like to touch base with Jim immediately, go ahead and use that. And Jim, is anybody from your team specifically going to be following up with these attendees, or will it be yourself?
It probably will not be me, but if you email me, I'll make sure you get in touch with the right person. It's going to be more than likely one of two people. It's going to be either Angela Harris within our organization or Adam Lynch. So once we get the registration report and obviously the list of the folks that raised their hand and said, yeah, I'm interested in more information, you'll be getting a call from either Angela or from Adam.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Jim, for taking time out to share these tips, these 13 reasons why business-to-business B2B e-commerce storefronts are different than B2C. Very informative. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And is there anything else you'd like to close with, Jim?
No, that's about it. I mean, for those of you on the Sage products, we'll see you guys here next week at the Sage Summit. If you happen to be Epicor, we just completed the Epicor conference, and they keep changing the name, but I think it's called Summit now. And we will be at Epicor Ignite for any of the Epicor partners this fall. And if you happen to be on QuickBooks, we just completed the Scaling New Heights conference. We will not be doing the Sleater Group conference, but looking to potentially do that down the road. And then, Microsoft, we're still weighing some of the Microsoft conferences. So if we can't touch base with you virtually, hopefully we can touch base with you in person.
And I'm just skimming through here to make sure we got all the questions, Jim. Let me see here. Oh, can you send a PDF of the presentation?
I can send a PowerPoint or a PDF. I'll just send it over to you, Adrian, and let you forward it over.
Perfect. All right. With that said, thank you so much, everybody, for taking time out to hear this presentation, and we will be in touch. I did record it, and we'll send the recording as well. And with that, we'll go ahead and say goodbye and have a great day.
Excellent. Thank you again.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.